Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be having a look at a number of different ship builds, mainly on the all on the battleships actually. But first up, I just wanted to finish off something from my last video on the Autocannon Battleship video, which was just released yesterday. So what we've got here is you've got my Yamato Battleship class, same design we used the other day. Some autocannons, large autocannon, lasers, more autocannons, nano autocannons. I've taken out the hardening for the armor and shields because I want to do a test on this ship, and it's got line combat computers, 4 armor, 2 shields, so all pretty standard stuff. Versus exact same ship type, except with hardening. Now, I just want to do a quick test because I wasn't sure whether the hardening was affecting some of the combat outcomes or not. And I have tested this already, and it was pretty much that the hardening wasn't affecting it. But I just wanted to show this battle so that everyone could see that exact same ship designs, the only difference is the hardening. No other difference. So we'll dive straight in just so we can see that the hardening isn't affecting anything at all. Because we weren't sure of the results from the last battles. It looked a bit strange. But some people have pointed out that it could have been the weapons targeting different ships at different times. As you can see, the lasers tend to focus fire a fair bit. It's probably more to do with RNG. The losses are relatively similar. This fleet's a little bit in front, which is going to happen with RNG. Now it's evened up already. Speed this up just to get to the end result. It's relatively close. We're not getting the big distortions like we did in the previous battle with the carriers. It's within 3 or 4 ships each. So we can see there that this fleet won. It wasn't by a great deal. There's 13 battleships left. The other fleet retreat was actually 15. So we can see there the hardening isn't playing any real effect in that fight, even though the other fleet had no hardening and there was no bypass weapons at all. So I just wanted to make sure hardening is working as intended, and it does seem to be working as intended, so we can rule that out as a issue. Move on to the next battle. In this battle, this was pointed out by someone who suggested that we go full carrier and not use the X-Lot weapons, because the way the firing arc works is the X-Lot weapons, when the carriers are trying to get away and keep the distance, they're pointing away from the opposing fleet, and they have to turn around to fire and then turn back again to run, and they lose time with that. And that's why some of the X-Lot weapons are not good for kiting. Missiles and cloud lightning are much better because you've got a 360-degree firing arc. So what we've got here is we've got a full carrier battleship. We've got rid of the X-Lot weapons. We've got an extra hangar bay, some point defenses, although there's no missiles and anything in this, so it won't really matter. A couple of whirlwind missiles as extra, 2 marauder missiles, 2 times flak, some more strike craft, and some more whirlwind missiles. 3 afterburners to try and give us speed, to try and keep some distance, so hopefully this laser autocannon fleet can't catch us. Healthy mix of armor and shields with the carrier combat computer. Opposing us, we've got the Yamato class battleship. I've made a couple small changes to this design from the previous design, which was suggested by a commentator. I've made it double laser. That was suggested that the 2 lasers would work better in combination to 2 L slots, and rather that the autocannon should be all in the medium slots. Those 2 medium autocannons would work better and do more damage, or nearly more damage, than one in the L slot anyway. I think it's just slightly more damage if you work it out, 42.82 versus an L slot autocannon. So we'll see how this mix works out. This remains the same: couple shields, 4 armor, some double armor hardening, and 1 shield hardening with line combat computer, just so we can close the distance and hopefully use our medium range autocannons. Because there is only range 35, so the medium distance could be outside of this range, potentially. May not be enough. Let's dive in and have a look. The alloys cost was about, this one is about roughly 60,000 alloys. I think it's about 58,000 alloys. and this is about 51,000 alloys for a full carrier fleet. So about 5,000 to 6,000 alloys difference in terms of the overall cost.
Hostiles engaged.
Upper shots opening up. They haven't got any X-slot weapons, so they've lost 4 already. You can see the lasers just really firing, really hammering this fleet. They've lost 5 already. We've lost none. Zeta strike craft only now closing. Missiles hitting. They've lost 7. One's retreating. Yeah, they're down 11 now already. But now that the carriers are split up, it's a bit harder. Tachyon Lancers are firing. They're probably overkilling some of these battleships, actually. These carrier battleships can never really kite because they're X-slot weaponry. They can always get hit, which can make speed sort of useless, really, against ships in the end game where we've got X-slot weaponry, because they can just keep hitting you from range like this. They've only lost 4 battleships so far, and they've lost the bulk of their fleet. That's just a benefit. We've got the extra lasers in there, and we've got the focus. We've got the Tachyon Lancers firing at range. But they've only got the missiles, even though we haven't got any point defenses. We do have the shield hardening as well, which will be helping. 1 ship left. There we go. So they retreated. So we actually deleted the enemy fleet. We actually wiped them out with the ship. We lost 6 battleships, and they lost 36 battleships destroyed. We should better see that here. Where is it? Well, they got 1. Somehow it said it's deleted. No, don't worry about that fleet. This one battleship left, even though it said it was deleted. I'm not sure how that works. Maybe we can do overwrite template. No, it goes back to 1. Okay. So our winning design was this. The double laser seemed to work better, and the 4 autocannons seemed to work pretty good too. Although I didn't really see the autocannons doing any real damage there because they were just too far away. This fleet was not within 35 range of any of those ships, really. So autocannons were just not really working. So you could be in a scenario, you can imagine a scenario where this fleet, even with some screening ships, these autocannons would be taking care of the screening ships, while just these 3 weapons alone was enough to take care of that entire carrier battleship fleet. So there's a fair bit of overkill here. Pretty strong design to focus off against large ships and small ships, depending on what you're up against, of course. Alright, let's move on to the next fight. We'll try and look a little bit more at the damage for the next battle. Alright, so in this fight, instead of having afterburners on our carriers, I've decided to go with shield capacitors to try and boost up our shields. We've increased it by about 1,500 points per ship, because this fleet's not so good at getting against shields until it closes in close range, so the autocannons can be effective in 35 range. So it's going to have to get quite close, and this fleet will be trying to get away, but it doesn't have the afterburners, so we'll have to see how it goes in keeping its distance. It should still be able to keep most of the autocannons out of the fight. I don't think they'll play a big deal in the fight, so it should make this fleet that bit more survivable. I don't think it'll be enough to beat this fleet at all. It's a pretty powerful combination. This fleet's unchanged. No change in design at all. Let's jump straight in to see how the battle pans out. Actually, I better put the attack all fleets on. There we go.
We're under attack. Time to dance.
X-slot weaponry firing. See the strike craft coming in, the missiles coming in, lasers fire. I do love the color of the lasers, actually. It just makes the battle seem so much more spectacular. One lone laser firing out there. Zooming in, I can't see any autocannons firing yet. Yeah, the battleships are just too far away. They're not even close yet. Just have a look at the damage output. The Tachyon Lancers, large gamma lasers, advanced strike craft. Advanced strike craft doing a lot of damage to armor there. They're in second place. Let's see if these ships can close within autocannon range. Whittle these shields down. Seeing any autocannons firing. Did their strike craft working their magic? They're down to 23 already. We're still at 33. Fleet power is not that different, so probably more retreated ships. Yeah, we're just getting caught in the middle. We're not using our autocannons at all. This could be a closer battle. The focused arc emitters, not the focused arc emitters, sorry, the tachyon lancers, I should say. Just so used to saying focused arc emitters. So once again, we're not using the autocannons. Even without the speed, you can see the shield capacitors just give this fleet a bit more survivability anyway. It's not enough, but helps. Or maybe we're closing a little bit now. Not enough yet. Speed it up a little bit. Now we've closed the distance a little bit there. Not using those autocannons at all. Hurry up and win this battle. It was closer than some of my tests, actually. In my test, I did get within a little bit in the autocannon range, so there we go. That's a retreated fleet. There's 17 versus 4. So the one thing about the laser combination, it is the tachyon lance and lasers does destroy a lot of enemy ships. So you want to actually destroy the enemy ships. Yeah, this is very, very powerful combination, tachyon lance and lasers. Just noticing that straight away. A winning combination once again. No real changes in that fleet design. Our losing combination, well, although it did better, was our carrier with the shield capacitors. It's been a little bit more survivable, but it just couldn't do enough damage fast enough. They were effective in staying out of the range of the autocannons despite not having any afterburners. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, before I start this fight, just make sure if you're enjoying my content, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button for me. Leave a comment if you want. You can do any of those three things. If you do want to become a member, I have got a new member actually, LG. So thank you for your membership. That's a big help. It helps me keep my channel going. So if anyone wants to become a member, feel free to hit that join button or send me a super chat if you want to do it that way. All right, let's move into this battle. We've got a updated Yamato class this time because I thought, well, the autocannons aren't really fighting it much at the moment. So I thought, let's try all out lasers and see how we go. The lasers have a range of 60, so they should be doing a bit more damage. And this is all the same here. No changes. Everything else remains the same. Just we changed the autocannons for the lasers at the moment. And opposing us is our same carrier design that did a fair bit better last time. I just wanted to see if the lasers would help defeat this fleet a little bit faster, because we should get a bit more damage out of those medium slot weapons rather than no damage at all.
Hostiles engaged.
They've already lost 6. Keep an eye on the damage. Medium, so you can see the medium lasers are fired a bit. Medium gamma laser, yeah, it's already done 1,000 damage to armor. Now they've spread out a bit, might be a bit harder, but it is 60 range, so they will get to range at some point. Keep an eye on it. So haven't done much damage to hull yet. Still their lowest weapon on armor at the moment. They're just getting stuck. It seems like every time you get stuck here and a big arc around you, you just can't really do much. They are going down a bit more. The 5,500 damage to shields there as well from the lasers. Now the lasers are going up. We've closed distance on a couple of ships there because you can see that move up there. The large gamma laser, was it? The same, actually. Looking at the wrong one. Just seems anything short of about that 70 to 80 range when you're up against artillery type system, artillery type combat computers, and still going to win the battle. But I just thought we could be a bit more efficient. We got a little bit more out of the medium weapons, but not a lot. So you could argue. Here we go. Probably going to do more damage here, are we? No, not quite. Okay. Are we doing damage to shields? No, nothing. Over the last couple of ships, we will. Yeah, we did a little bit. Yeah, we did a little bit more. Yeah. That's the... There you go, they're done. I think that was the retreated fleet. No, it wasn't. Let's finish it off. There we go. We deleted the enemy fleet again. So we lost 7 battleships. And they lost everything. Everything gone. So that was, yeah. Well, it says 34,000, but that doesn't seem right. 11,000. Thought it was more expensive than that. So yeah. So even though we're only using really our first 3 weapons, it's still more effective against the carrier design. So I tried to get a bit more to laser. So you could argue in a design like this, because you're not getting much out of them, you could put whirlwind missiles in here. When you're going up, say, carriers, artillery, kinetic artillery, and that type of things, because you're not closing the distance. Unless you're going to become against brawling type ships. But then again, you know, it's hard to judge that, isn't it? So you'd have to really have good intel on your enemy fleet. At least this design gives you really good ability to engage those destroyers, frigates, corvettes. They're going to do a fair bit of damage to them if the enemy fleet had them. Moving to the next battle. Okay, so we've got our Yamato 2 again with all of our lasers. No change in the battle. This time we're going to be up against something a bit more formidable. Going up against our focused Archimedes kinetic artillery battleships. So, and they're running the shield capacitors to see if we can be a bit more survivable rather than afterburners. This will suffer a little bit against the hardening, but hopefully not too much. So we're just going for the pure DPS of the kinetic artillery with the artillery combat computers to see if we can overwhelm our Yamato class battleship with lasers. See if the lasers can actually get in a little bit closer and do some damage this time, hey? We can only hope.
Mixing it up with a hostile fleet.
We got some X-Slot versus X-Slot weapons here. Battleships are running again. The lasers are down to 6. They're down 2. So they have more firepower due to that's just due to the kinetic artillery just having that high DPS. Now losing a lot of ships though. You can see the Tachyon Lancers are still firing, but these ships are not turning around yet. They might start to turn now. Yeah, now they're turning focused Archimedes. You can just see if the Tachyon Lancers got more shots off because these guys are trying to run. By the time they turn around, it takes time for battleships to turn and fire. It's slow, lumbering beasts. Not too much difference in it. About 10k in firepower now. Let's just pause and see if we're getting any damage out of the medium lasers. We've got a bit of damage there for the medium lasers. Oh yeah, so they've done more there. So they've done 12 and a bit thousand. You can see here the range has closed enough probably for the 60 range of the medium lasers. So they are doing damage there, and they've done a fair bit of damage to shield. So this battle seems they've just caught them a bit better. Probably the difference between artillery combat computer and carrier combat computer, that the carrier is able to stay at further range. But probably why this battle is going quite well as well. Though it's still, the firepower is not too much difference. Just probably ship numbers probably is. Well, we don't have any retreated though. It looks quite even actually. You can see, look at focus fire in these ships. Shields armor way down, hull armor way down. There's not too much difference really though between the two fleets. Just a few numbers. Retreated fleet there. Alright, so they lost, they had only 10 left, was it? Yeah, 10 out of 30. So they lost 26 versus our 11. That's 34,000 to replace them, and only nearly 18,000 to replace ours. So the lasers actually did really well against kinetic artillery, which is quite surprising. Honestly, kinetic artillery is meant to be a pretty strong build, and yet an all laser build just wiped the floor of it quite easy. Even though most of their weapons are not useful for against any type of hardening technology. The losing design was this design. They could argue we could put a different type of X-slot weapon in there, but I don't think it would matter too much because they're using a true combat computer and they're always facing away, meaning they have to turn around, fire, and they lose time in that turning around period. So it means probably over the course of the battle, we're probably getting 2 or 3 more shots off for our X-slot weapons than what the artillery computer is, and that's probably the difference in the battle, really. All right, next battle. So for this fight, we're going with our Cloud Lightning design to see how that will stack up against this Yamato class fleet. You've got the shield capacitors again. We're going for extra robustness, I guess you could say, a bit more tanky. And the hardening will affect these weapons because the 100% shield and armor penetration. The hardening on our Yamato class fleet. Here with the double armor hardening and shield hardening should negate some of that Cloud Lightning. And we'll see if our laser and tachyon lance can be as effective again as it has been in other battles.
Hostiles engaged.
Even so far, opening engagements. See where the damage is being done. Focused arc emitters, tachyon lance. So focused arc emitters got the edge at the moment. Medium lasers engaged. It's quite a close engagement. It's like a all-in brawl here. Because, there's the other thing I didn't show. For the Cloud Lightning, if you didn't remember, it is line combat computer. Because it is only a 60 range. So you have to use a closer range. You've seen the previous battle, if you use artillery on a line, on a 60 range weapon, you're never going to use these weapons. It's only been a focused arc emitters. So that's why it's pretty much an all-in brawl. It probably favors the lasers. But it's not too much in it, to be honest. You can see the damage to the hull. They're still getting through, doing lots of damage to the hull. Focused arc emitters are just going straight through. Cloud Lightning's doing a lot of damage. You got the tachyon lancers, the medium, are just sort of overwhelming them a bit. Pretty even in firepower stakes. You probably just need a few good hits through the Cloud Lightning and focused arc emitters, and you get lucky. Could be a win actually. I've done this a few times, and the laser wins most times. Oh, you could have a win for the focused arc emitters here. The lasers are going down. They've been defeated. A Cloud Lightning won that day, and that's the first time I've seen them actually win that battle. The Cloud Lightning, so they won the day in the end, and I think that just comes down to RNG, between 1 and 106 damage, and the focused arc emitters between 2 and 1690. So if you just get a few extra good hits on these weapons, it can kill a few battleships and turn the battle in your favor. Look at the overall losses. So 14, so they lost 22 battleships. And City Yamato's lost a lot less. They only lost 13. So that just shows that although a lot more ships retreated, they weren't actually destroyed. So the lasers and that still did the damage. So you could argue that, all right, you may have lost the battle, but it's pretty much a Pyrrhic victory. You'd probably win a sustained war with this. So, but I have done other battles in this. It's a flip of the coin, really, this battle. Just depends on RNG, the Cloud Lightning. So I wouldn't read too much into that because the lasers have won pretty much all the other tests I've done in this. This one's just one of those things. They can win every now and again. And the Cloud Lightning, I do like the design. It's quite powerful, quite useful. Here, we're going to use our Cloud Lightning design again that managed to prevail in that fight. No changes at all. Everything remains the same. But this time we're going to go back to our laser and autocannons, because it is a bit of a close all-in brawl. This should really be the autocannon forte, really. These things should those Cloud Lightning battleships to shreds, hopefully. So we're going to find out. So the only change is to swap the lasers out for the autocannons like we had in the original few battles, and we'll see how this battle pans out.
Mixing it up with a hostile fleet.
Light display. Firing. The autocannons. Can you see them? Yeah, you can see a few of them. Yeah, you got to zoom right in to see them properly, these autocannons firing. Before you used to be able to see them zoomed out. I think it's just going to improve that a little bit. Alright, let's just pause here. So the Cloud Lightning fleet has taken an absolute beating, 22 to 31 already. Let's look at the damage there. Tachyon Lance, Focus Archivant, now autocannons in third. In fourth spot there. And number one, damage to shields, of course. So they are doing a lot of damage, considering that the laser weapons before and autocannons before weren't doing much damage because they couldn't close the distance. This is now an all-in brawl, so this really suits the autocannon. Just keep an eye on that damage. Oh, they got already. Wow. That was a quick battle. I was not expecting the battle in that quickly. I couldn't even click on the damage properly. They lost 20 battleships. Yeah, that was their fleet. And we lost 5 battleships. Ouch. So that was an absolute slaughter. So you can see I changed out the lasers for autocannon and how much the battle changed. It went from a somewhat Pyrrhic victory for the Cloud Lightning to them being absolutely routed by the nanite autocannons. And you'd probably do the same with Gore's autocannons and stuff as well. And you don't even really need to use nanites, but nanites just gives that extra firepower. You see how quickly we won that battle. Right, let's try this last battle. This fight, we've changed out all the lasers. We're going full autocannons this time, and just to see how it compares to laser, basically. So we're going full lasers, full autocannon, sorry, not laser, taking all the lasers out. No other changes in this design at all. And we're going up against our Cloud Lightning design again with no changes at all. It's going to be a brawl here in the middle, and we'll just see the difference in between the lasers and the autocannons, how quickly this fleet died. Although the last fleet died pretty quickly, we'll see how quickly this one dies. But go, they actually attack each other. Go. Get in there, fight.
We're under attack. Time to dance.
The other autocannons firing. There we go. Look at that. Now we're into the business. Here we go. The cinematic view. Alright, let's quickly pause before the battle's over. It's looking like they're getting absolutely flogged. The nanite autocannons are doing a fair bit of damage there. Only their X slot in front of them. Same there. And they're obviously up the top for both of their weapons, the large and medium nanite autocannons and shields. Which you'd expect with their efficiency. They're already down. We only lost 4 ships. Oh. They just vanished. Vanished before I could even do so. We lost 4 ships in total. And they're gone to the ship. Their entire fleet got wiped out. They lost all their ships. That's 34,000 alloys worth of fleet. And we lost nearly 7,000 alloys worth of ships. So you can see, if you can know the battle's going to be a more close-in fight, the autocannons are just absolutely devastating. But if you want to plan for a more mixed build, then you'd want to have, like our previous designs, a mix of lasers in here to give you that extra range and firepower. Because if you're going up against any artillery combat computer, these autocannons are never going to fire. Even the large ones, 40 range is just too short. The only thing to be working will be the Tachyon Lance, so you don't want to rely on that too much. So we've seen in most of our battles that the laser autocannon combination is very effective, or even a all laser combination is very effective. You don't have to rely on all kinetic artilleries or missiles, and arguably in some of those battles we could have had some missiles because the autocannons just couldn't get in the fight. But then if the enemy had lots of screening ships or other smaller ships in there, those lasers and autocannons would be ripping them to shreds, and your one fleet is effectively doing the job of two. So, because most of those battles, we were only having the 2 L slots and the X slot, which was wiping out the enemy fleets pretty much to the ship. So we were being very effective and very efficient there. So that was really good to know. But give me some comments, give me some feedback on some ship designs you'd like to see. I just want to do some more brawler type designs for the battleship, and I think this shows how you can use it. And you can use the tier 3 autocannons as well. They're not that much less than the nanites, but because nanites are now a thing and you can get it quite easily, nanite autocannons are going to be quite common throughout the late game, I would imagine. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Remember to hit that subscribe button for me, hit the like button, leave me some comments, and consider joining the channel if you want to become a member. Alright, thanks, bye for now.